So Garrett, it's a big year, Olympic year, and so far we're 2 for 2, undefeated.
Yeah, it's been a good start.
Beat Mo Farah in the first race, and then 7:48 in the flat track. Got to be pretty happy with everything.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you can't hope to start an Olympic year better than this. So.
What do you think you're capable of for tomorrow's race?
I'd like to think I'm capable of PR at least. My PR is 353 low, and I think indoors, outdoors these days, like everybody's kind of ready to go indoors so early that you can almost run PRs in the mile this time of the season, because the other half of the time when I'm trying to go for a PR outdoors, it's like the end of the season, I'm hanging on. So feel good. Training's been going well, even though I've been doing a ton of base and long distance stuff. I finally started to do a little bit more speed, and that's been really painful, but I think hopefully make tomorrow feel a little bit better. Pace is going to be hot, so I'd like to say low 350s, hopefully.
I mean, when you're in a race like that, do you just focus on competing, or do you worry about the time? Or
no, I'll be focused on competing tomorrow. I mean, hopefully the time will come with it. You know, I just know the race is supposed to go, I think 252, 253. So if you're in that race, you're probably going to be, you know, as long as you don't blow up too bad in that last lap, you're going to end up being at least PR range for me.
And then after this weekend, I guess USA's and Worlds will become the focus. What event will you do there?
Probably the 3K. We'll see how tomorrow goes and make the final decision, but the 3K is kind of the one that I've been focusing on all year. I feel like it's kind of always been my favorite event. It's a little bit, you never get to run it as much indoors or outdoors, so indoors kind of switches things up, and I think the mental side of it, where you don't know what to expect sometimes in the 3K, makes you kind of get breakthroughs there that you otherwise might not in the 15, the mile, 5Ks, things that have like more set standards in your mind. You have better expectations of what you exactly should be running.
Right. And I mean, Galen Rupp's going to try to come back to that from the marathon. What do you think of that?
I mean, yeah, it's impressive. I don't know. Like, I just watched the guy run the marathon last weekend, and that was one of the more impressive marathons I've seen. But you know, if anybody can do it, it's probably him. I can't imagine running the marathon, let alone running the marathon and coming back a couple weeks later. But I don't know. I mean, clearly, if he's planning on doing it, I guess he's probably feels comfortable making that decision. So he always makes things interesting, so it'll be fun.
You know, last year outdoors, you almost got him at the finish there. This year outdoors, are you going to go for the 5,000 again?
That's the plan. Yeah. I think that suits me better. The 1,500 always turns into like a 400 to maximum 800 meter race, really, and the 5K turns into usually being a little bit more of a longer, drawn out 1,500 sort of race, because you jog usually for a mile or two. And so I think that's probably my best bet when it comes to championship style racing. So that's the plan.
And do you prefer like a slow tactical race? I mean, is that your wheelhouse, or what's your ideal 5,000?
I think that's like the best part about the 5K for me now, is like I'm happy with either, like it going fast or slow. I think being a 1,500, moving up from the 15, like if it's a slow race, it comes down to a kick. I think my chances are pretty decent, you know, although last year I missed it by .07. I think, or if it's a long drawn out one, I feel pretty confident in being able to run fast at this point. So less preference about which way it goes, which I think is nice, because it puts a little bit less pressure on me to like force the race to go one way or another. Whereas in the 15, I almost felt like I had to force the race to go fast, because if it didn't, I didn't like my odds that much.
Right. What do you think you're capable of? I mean, your PR by the guys making the Worlds isn't as fast, you know, 13:16.
Yeah.
Obviously, you probably think you're much better than that, considering you're, you know, racing with 13 flat guys.
Yeah, I think last year I thought I was ready to run a lot faster. We kind of settled a little bit in the middle of the race at Peyton Jordan, so I ended up running 13:16 again. But when I ran 13:16 a couple years ago, I ran it with I think it was a 2:08 on the last 800, and last year I ran it with like a 1:55, 1:56 or something. So it was a completely different way of running it, which I think meant there was a lot more there in the tank. I'd like to run close to 13 minutes this year at Peyton, hopefully. So it'll be a little bit of a quick turnaround from indoors if I can make that world team, but I think we're going to go to altitude, and then hopefully I think be capable of just coming back and trying to knock on that door.
And is your training pretty much the same every year at this point now that you're 30, or do you still try to add a little bit? Like, what's different in 2016 versus 2015, if anything?
Probably taking things out more than adding. The old body doesn't respond quite as well. No, it's been good. I've added in some weightlifting stuff since I've been up in Seattle. I never really did any of that when I was down in Palo Alto or in college. I've always been a little bit bigger guy when it comes to running anyway, and so got up to Seattle. I've been working with Danny, doing a lot more weightlifting stuff to kind of work on the explosive side of things. So I think that's been a big thing, and outside of that, like, we've got a PT guy, John Pierce, who's in town, who's been helping me, just hopefully stay healthy. I've always been pretty risk averse in general to getting any sort of like massage treatment. Like, I'm pretty minimalist, so I like to just run. But he's been doing a little bit, and I've gradually gained some comfort there. Just like a short once-a-week appointment, but it's been good, and kind of like building a rapport. But other than that, I think it's really just like trying to be smart, manage the recovery. I was like talking to one of our teammates the other day, and like basically just saying, like, I remember back in college you run like a race on Friday night, Saturday night, long run Sunday, Tuesday you work out again, and you're just right back in the groove. And now it's like I run a race on Saturday, and I'm like, I can't long run tomorrow. Like, I'll long run Monday. I can't work out Tuesday. I'll work out Friday. You're like really focused on like recovery, especially this time of year. Like, I think I want to be really fit. I want to be running fast, but I don't want to kind of overcook things too much because outdoors is the main focus. And so hopefully being smarter and just staying consistent, and knock on wood, just been healthy for about three plus years now, and so trying to just kind of keep that streak going.
All right, well, good luck Saturday. Rest of the year.